Hi. So I was asked by somebody in the comment sections of one of my shorts that I put up, basically about how to kind of go between more traditional blues lines and jazzier sounding lines. And so I decided to put out a video basically on that's an easy way to kind of jazz up your blues, basically by expanding the pentatonic scale. I kind of call this just a basic jazz blues pentatonic box or blues box, however you want to call it. And basically starts with the pentatonic scale or the blues scale, starting in G. It adds a few notes, chord tones and some color tones, to basically just add some little more harmonic heft, and it's a something you'll hear and see if you with older sort of jazzier blues guitar players like T-Bone Walker or Charlie Christian, and these ideas were sort of you hear this in electric blues, B.B. King, Freddie King, playing these sort of color notes to add a little bit more sophistication to more straight ahead blues. And you also hear it in jazz players playing blues, Joe Pass, Kenny Burrell, Wes Montgomery. And this is a good, easy way to get started without drowning in too many notes and patterns, and this is just a way to sort of add some color. And so the pattern starts with the pentatonic scale, but so what's cool about this is you just get a lot of notes with only adding a few extra notes that you're adding, and you get this you add the major third here, and you get this kind of chromatic, and you hear that a lot in jump blues. And then you add between, so you get a little bit of kind of mixolydian sound going there. And by basically adding, chord tones and these color tones, you can more accurately sort of spell out the chords in a blues progression, which is going to kind of help make your playing sound a bit jazzier. So you can kind of hear it, if you're doing it right, you can sort of hear the blues progression without even playing any chords. And you can kind of spell that out so the listener can kind of hear that sort of harmonic progression, which you don't necessarily get if you just play the blues scale, the pentatonic scale. And so it gives you a lot of options here. In this scale, you have the G major triad, you have the G minor triad. But if you're playing over G7 blues, you have this arpeggio right here, and then when you get to the four chord, the C7, you have you starting on the third string, the fifth fret, you have the root note of the four chord. So it contained in that. So you can kind of build your licks around these arpeggios. So that's and a lot of when people are talking about something sounding jazzy, I mean there's the harmonic component, and then there's chromaticism, which is also a lot of what people are talking about with a jazzier sort of sound, and you can add you can add these chromatic notes. So instead of playing you add every note, and like I previously mentioned, you have that chromatic run here too. And you can play between the minor third and the major third. That's kind of a piano-ish kind of line, and that's going to add some real sophisticated sounds. So yeah, basically, I would just practice that scale. I'm gonna upload a PDF of that scale, so you can download it and learn it, and just just practice these different ideas, with the arpeggios, with the chord tones, over a blues progression, and you'll start hearing your playing just become instantly jazzier. I mean, and once you get the hang of this, I mean, you can learn. I treat it as like kind of a home base, it's where I'm comfortable, and you can add to it, going outside of the pattern. If you want to do a diminished run, over the one chord, like a kind of, you basically just, starting at the root note, at the 5th fret, that G right there, then, this is outside the pattern, but you're just going up one step, minor third, major third, flat 5, 5, and you can kind of do different diminished runs, either how you see fit, but you already have this home base where you're comfortable, so you're just kind of adding this stuff on. You don't have to do anything that complicated. You can just do something like that. And this is all just based on the basic first position minor pentatonic scale, something pretty basic, and most most players are gonna know. So you don't really need to necessarily know a bunch of fancy patterns or anything, or to really get started. Adding just a little bit of more harmonic sophistication and melodic sophistication to your blues playing. This is just a good way to just kind of get out the gate, get comfortable with this, and when you feel like you really mastered that, then you can you have a good foundation to start adding more to that, and so yeah, basically this is the what I'm calling the super